Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk, the series where entrepreneurs, influencers, and anyone willing to work for a better today come to explore all the ways we can change lives with technology. I'm your host, Nicole Crawford Thompson, co founder, Miritech. Now, as you know by now, season one is all about showing you the entrepreneurs behind innovative software solutions, like our guest today, Lanisia Rhoden, CEO and founder of Link Your Purpose. So, Link Your Purpose is basically an online career development platform designed to help young people identify and fulfill ideal career goals. And I believe this is like, in terms of Jamaican product, first in the Caribbean, wonderful impact. This social enterprise obviously is based online where it offers a free career quiz, career mentors, interactive career workshops, and a career tracker feature. Lanisia Rhoden founded Link Your Purpose in 2017 as a spin-off of Young Women and Men of Purpose, another nonprofit organization she created 12 years ago. Not only does Lanisia direct her own NGOs, she also helps others to establish, grow, and sustain their nonprofits as a sustainable nonprofit management consultant. She has several accolades, which includes being 2019 JCDC Festival Queen for Manchester, our own home parish, a 2013 Commonwealth Youth Awardee, and a Rotary Ambassadorial Scholar. I am excited she's here today. She's one of my dearest friends. And today we're going to discuss her tech solution, Link Your Purpose. Welcome, Lanisia. Welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's so nice to see you and to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of your journey. And I know we have a few things in common. We both were Pitch It Caribbean finalists. We
Yeah,
both
right.
traveled to Helsinki to participate in the SUSH Global Impact Accelerator Program. Yeah, that's
Yes.
what it was. So we have a lot of things in common in terms of just wanting to make an impact and make a difference in our own space.
Right.
So your platform is called Link Your Purpose. How did you identify your own purpose, and how did it lead you to develop this platform?
So for me, in 2009, after I entered the JCDC Festival Queen competition and won for Manchester, I was required to start a community service project as part of my reign as Festival Queen. Now, before I was already actively engaged in different community service activities, and I was at the time a teacher with Heart Trust NTA, and I was mentoring my students, especially the female students, while teaching them. And so when I needed to decide on my project, I wanted to continue what I was already doing with the female students. And so I created Young Women of Purpose as my community service project. And at the time, our core focus on function was to provide career guidance and mentorship and just personal development, training and support and guidance for young women. All of this was happening face to face back in 2009. And so Young Women of Purpose was birthed, and we actually created quite a bit of impact in the community. 2 years after, the males were asking what about us, and so we expanded the organization to include males, and continued to do the work, especially that of career mentoring and guidance. We are now 12 years old with that. In 2012, however, when I received the Rotary Ambassadorial Scholarship to pursue my master's degree in innovation management and entrepreneurship in the UK, I was introduced to the concept of social enterprise. Now, from my experience of running a nonprofit organization, it was totally voluntary. So I had my job while running this organization, and we were operating with volunteers. We had to be seeking grant funding in order to continue the projects that we were doing in the organization. And it was quite difficult to get grant funding. We did eventually receive grant funding, and to date, we've received, quite a bit of grant
Yeah.
funding to execute several projects. But we wanted to create a way or something within the organization that could help us to sustain ourselves and also to cover operational expenses, because grant funding, generally speaking, does not do that. And so when I was introduced to social enterprises in the UK, I basically ran with it. I ended up doing my research paper on how NGOs can become sustainable by creating their own social enterprises. And so the concept itself for Link Your Purpose was actually formed in 2012, 2013 while studying. But as I said at the time, it was a concept. So I documented and just made jottings of what I wanted this thing to look like. So in addition though to Link Your Purpose being created to sustain the work of young women and men of purpose, a core thing for me at the time was also expanding the work. So we were in and we are still in the technology age. And at the time, I thought that most young people or most persons had access to a smartphone, persons had access to a tablet or even a computer. Why not create something using technology where literally young people can, from their smartphone, go online and get career guidance? Because that it was and it is still a challenge, especially in some of the more rural schools where students do not get to have that one-on-one discussion with a career advisor to discuss what they want to do and to get help to literally achieve their career goals. So basically, that's how it was formed. Since 2012, I would have worked on the concept, developed a business plan, participated in several accelerator programs locally and internationally. Locally, I participated and my team participated in programs such as the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, which was conducted by Jamaica National and USAID. And I've traveled as far as, outside of Helsinki that you spoke about, I've been to Germany, to participate in different programs such as the Do School Entrepreneurship for Good program. And that was very significant for me because that is where I literally was able to build out the business model for Link Your Purpose. And more recently, we received the Expo Live 2020 Global Innovators Grant, and that is grant funding of 100,000 US dollars from Expo 2020 Dubai, and that literally helped us to get to another level in terms of advancing the platform, literally pushing it out there, marketing it, and actually offering our services to our clients who are students or young people who need guidance to achieve their career goals. So basically, that has been the journey. I found my purpose, or I found my purpose back then, and I wanted to help other young people to find their purpose, but using a tool that they already had access to and something that they are already used to being on.
That's amazing, Lanisia. And I can see how every journey in your past was linked to the next step, you know? And it's so important for us to be self-aware because I'm not sure if you knew when you were studying that this is something you wanted to do, and the opportunity came, and then while studying, you realize that, hey, I can actually do this. You know, sometimes we'll go down pathways that we didn't expect to take us along the same end result, and that's so awesome. So that
Yeah.
was very inspiring.
Yes, and if I just add a little to that, because you talk about not studying, my first degree was in food service management.
Yes,
So
I realized.
the truth is that years ago when I was young, my dream was always to travel the world. And I thought that I would travel the world through the hospitality industry. And so that is one of the reasons why I studied hospitality and tourism, focusing on food service management. But, my life took a change. And I still ended up traveling the world, but with more meaning, creating more impact. And now I've been doing development work for over 12 years. And it's after getting into development work that I actually pursued programs and courses in the area of development itself. So it's never a straight line. And this is one of the things that we say to students and to young people that we work with. It's never a straight line. You may start here and then end up there. But the important thing is for you to know what you like, know what you're passionate about, and then to channel that energy into what you can do.
Definitely. I can relate to that because even for myself, starting out as an educator and now an entrepreneur, I can tell you I didn't envision this life. But so far, the Lord has really just showed that He is guiding, and especially when you don't have a clear picture of the future, sometimes you have to trust the process and follow your guts and take risks because the unknown, even though it's scary, there's so much out there that you can benefit from. So, Lanisia, tell us more about the platform and how it works.
The Link Your Purpose platform, it is online. It's a web-based platform, so you can actually find us on our website, www.linkyourpurpose.com. We have our interactive career quiz that students or anyone who wants to explore different career options can take. Now, the quiz, as it is now, you are able to select up to 8 subjects that you are, if you're in high school, the 8 subjects that you're doing, or 8 subjects that you like or that you want to do. And once you have selected your subjects, the platform will actually populate careers that are linked to those subjects. And the importance of this is that what we have done on the platform is that we have provided a wide range of careers that are linked to that combination of subjects. So no longer are students limited to just becoming, if you like sciences, just becoming a medical doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Students can pursue very, various numbers of careers linked to science outside of becoming a medical doctor. And so we promote the traditional, but also many non-traditional careers through the career quiz. Now, the career quiz is free, so students can access that. They register, take the quiz. Once you want to get more information, so you will be given information about the career in terms of what persons do in that field. But if you want to go ahead and create your own tracker to see the colleges or institutions, tertiary institutions that you can actually go to pursue courses to achieve that career goal, see scholarships directly for that particular career or for that institution that is recommended, then we will prompt you to subscribe to the platform for a small fee. You subscribe for a year and you have access to all of these. There is a career tracker, so you're literally building out your career tracker. It will show you what steps you need to take. You can actually check off to see where you're at, what steps you need to take. And it will also prompt you to speak with a career mentor. Our career mentors on Link Your Purpose, they are professionals within the field, a specific field. So you can look for someone who is in a field that you are interested in and book a session. So it is not necessarily a long-term mentoring relationship with this person. It's more a mentoring session where you can ask this person in the field that you're interested in going into or learning about, how they got there, where did they study, did they have scholarship, what does a typical day look like in their field? Because a lot of times there's a lot of misconception in terms of, oh, we think that a pilot jumps on the plane and flies the plane. And,
Yes.
but there's so much more that he might have to do before even being able to go into that aircraft and even do afterwards. So it's things like that, the intricacies of the career that we are not exposed to unless we're speaking with somebody who is in the field. These are the things that we encourage students to ask, and these are the things that the mentors will actually speak to them about. We also offer on the platform, we have an interactive career workshop that we offer to schools. So before COVID, we were doing this face to face.
Yeah.
COVID, we actually have it virtually, and we still have the face to face option, in case things reopen. But in the career workshop, schools can actually book that for a group of students, and we literally walk them through. Again, they get to play with the platform to take the quiz and see what populates for them. And we also walk them through the steps of achieving their career goal. And we use the backward mapping process to do this. So basically, they start with the end in mind. They start with that career that they want to accomplish and basically retrace the steps to see how they would have gotten there. And as I said, it's very interactive, it's a lot of fun. And generally speaking, those are some of the things that we offer on the platform.
It sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like there's so many different activities that students can do. I really appreciate this because when I went to high school, I don't believe I was presented with many options in terms of my interests or what I thought was possible.
Right.
And so I pursued what I thought I loved. Well, I did love it. That I still do. I mean, my mom was a teacher, and I wanted to be like her. But I didn't know that I could explore other careers that I didn't know about. And I think what you're doing is really good because the teenage years, those formative years, is very important to have a broad outlook as to what is possible.
Yeah.
We talked earlier that we both participated in health in the Global Impact Accelerator in Helsinki, Finland. And for me, when I traveled to Europe, it was the first time I realized what was possible as a tech entrepreneur. It really broadened my mindset. And so, because of that, it set a standard of excellence as to how a tech company should perform.
Right.
So it's important to have that, and I do believe that you're really making a significant impact in that space.
Well, thank you. And so
You
are
know,
you, Narita.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so you know that our program focuses on, innovative entrepreneurs making a difference. Tell us about the emerging careers, such as tech-based careers. What are the trends you're seeing through your platform, or the uptake of this career in general?
Okay, so even before this global pandemic, we saw an increase in terms of the trends for innovative careers, technology careers, because of the technological advancement that has been taking place globally. And so, and with COVID-19, with the global pandemic, especially where many companies now have had to resort to remote working, and there has been need for more technological based or skilled individuals, you find that there has even been additional careers, or the need for persons in the technology space has actually increased. And so some of the, in terms of trends for technology careers that we have seen and that we also promote on our Link Your Purpose platform, there is a strong need for persons who are web designers, software engineers, software developers. And this is because many organizations, many companies who were never online before, never had an online presence, never had a website, they now have to create these things so that they can meet their customers, they can supply their customers. E-commerce development, this is something that has definitely increased in the past few years and definitely over the last 2 years. Also, in terms of payment systems, so technology entrepreneurs who are have basically increased maybe so much over the last 2 years. Persons creating payment systems. We are in the Caribbean, we're in Jamaica, and as technology entrepreneurs, this is something that we still basically have a challenge with, or have had challenges with it for the last couple of years, receiving payments online locally that literally links directly to our banking accounts. And so since COVID-19 and over the last few years, we've seen, or I've seen, and my team, we've also seen where there are more entrepreneurs in the Caribbean who have created their own technology or online payment solutions. So no longer do we have to struggle or to think, oh, how are we going to get our funds from, these international companies that cannot necessarily connect with our local bank account.
Yeah.
We can now tap in to the local payment gateways and connect them directly. So that is a market. There's still a lot of room for that. The truth is, in terms of there isn't yet much competition where that is concerned. I know it is a difficult area to tap into, but that is one of the emerging areas that still has room for more entrepreneurs with payment solution, online payment solutions, especially for the smaller tech entrepreneurs or startups like ourselves at Link Your Purpose. And other general areas that are important, and another area, and especially before COVID, robotics was an area that there was quite a bit of traction in the robotics field. It still is important and it still is there, But it is usually one of those fields where it's very interactive, and especially for the students who are engaged in this area, they like to touch and feel. So there has been a little bit of limitation because of the global pandemic, but it doesn't mean that it is still not an emerging trend, because persons have also found very innovative ways to still offer programs and courses and develop robotics. I mean, whether businesses or programs, especially for young people. So, generally speaking, like those are some of the emerging areas in terms of technology that we've seen.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to know, based on the success of the platform and the experience of the students using the platform, what's their feedback and what results have you received, through the use or uptake of the platform?
The feedback that we have received from students so far, it has been very good. As I said, we have been working on this platform, you can see, for, for many years, building out the prototype and then getting to something that we are now confident in selling to others. We have had students who have just gone ahead and engaged with the platform on their own. And we've had our mentees from the NGO who've also engaged with the platform. And generally speaking, their feedback is that it is a good platform. It has really opened their eyes to other careers, especially the non-traditional careers that they would not have thought about. Sometimes we're speaking with students and they're like, well, they've never seen this career. They don't know anything about it, never heard of it, but it is a career that is linked to the subjects or the area that they're passionate about. And so, them being able to explore other options, usually for them, that is very exciting. And, it gives them new insight as to what is possible. Students have also been able to access opportunities through us in terms of getting access to scholarships to pursue, whether it is their tertiary education, some of them their secondary education, and also not just scholarships, but even different programs for them based on where they're at. It was last summer, so this was summer of 2020. Through our platform, we were able to promote an entrepreneurship program for high school students who wanted to become entrepreneurs. And they were able to access, they participated in this training program with one of the top universities in the US. And they were excited, and the feedback and the impact that that had on them has been great. So, generally, that is the kind of feedback that we get. We also have feedback, like positive feedback, not just from students, but also teachers when we do our virtual interactive career workshops. They, the workshop itself is very interactive. And so it is different for them, where they're literally engaged in the workshop. Again, it opens their minds to the possibilities, the different numerous careers that they would not have been exposed to. And also, the backward mapping process that we use for them to get to the career is something that they've always spoken about, that it really makes it much clearer for them to understand how to reach the career that they are interested in. And one of the final things that I would say in terms of feedback, there are quite a number of students who are still unsure of what they want to do. And one of the things that we ensure that we do, especially in the workshops, we do not leave those persons out. So if you don't know what to do, we always ensure that we explain to the student that it's okay. If you don't know what you want to do in this moment, it's fine. And then we have some questions that we usually ask the students to help them to figure it out. So there are questions that we would have asked them, for example, that what do they like to do? What is that thing that is always on their mind and they like to do it, and they would do it, for free if they had to. If they don't know that, because the truth is not everybody can clearly say what they like to do, then we will go a little further to say, okay, if you don't know what you like to do, what is that thing that your peers, your friends, your family members are always calling on you to do? What is that thing that they always say that you're good at? And then you'll find that some of them will start answering, because the truth is that there's one or two things that all of us are good at, that even if we don't think we're good at it, other people may see it in us. And so you find that that is also quite impactful to help the persons who don't have any idea of what they want to do to start to figure out based on what they are good at.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And as I said before, I can see the impact based on my own experience, wishing I had more exposure to what was possible, and as you rightly said, sometimes you won't know what you want to do, and that is okay as
Yeah.
well. Because even for me, while going through my careers, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do either. I was always
Right.
some parts confused, or contemplating if I should make a particular decision in that direction. So I understand exactly what your students are saying. Okay, now Lanisia, I know you work a lot with the education system. You're very involved in the Ministry of Education and Youth and a number of their programs. But you're also very instrumental in helping entrepreneurs or other persons start their own nonprofits. Tell us about that.
Okay, yes. So it is one of my passions. I would have been leading an NGO for the past 12 years. And basically, when I started, I knew nothing and I did everything from scratch. And if you start or do anything from scratch and you do, when I say everything, everything. So even the things that were that I was encouraged, oh, get a lawyer, to register the NGO, get a lawyer. At the time, there was no budget for lawyers. So, of course, I had to do it all on my own. But what that taught me was that it taught me the process in terms of how to go about registering the NGO, how to prepare the constitution document, how to, prepare the articles for registration and so forth. And because of my years of experience, I wanted both in the regulator is aspects of it, as well as also seeking grant funding, writing proposals, getting better at it, getting rejections and getting yeses in the same breath. I have been able to develop a level of expertise that I wanted to share with other persons. Even before formalizing, the NGO journey consultancy firm, persons have always been coming to me and asking me for help to whether it is to register their NGOs or just to set up to give general guidance. And I used to do that quite often freely for many persons. And then I took a deliberate action last year in 2020 to formalize this process and to really offer this service to persons who want to set up their own NGOs, want to set up their own social enterprises, so that they can be guided as to how to do it and how to do it well. The truth is that when you have help to do something, especially from persons who have been doing it for years, it does make the process easier, and it also shortens the time period that you would have spent to learn how to do it. And you prevent yourself from making mistakes that you didn't have to make. And so basically, that's what we've been doing. We offer tips over the NGO journey. We do registration, and we also help you to basically map out your NGO from concept to implementation. And also, if you want to create impactful projects and you're not sure where to start, these are some of the things that I also help persons with.
Yeah, definitely, Lanisia. I can endorse everything that you've said, and I know that I know I reached out to you in the past to assist me. It's still in concept. I'll say
Okay.
it's still in concept, but it has not left the table, and I'll be reaching out to you again.
Okay.
So you've done so much over the past 12 years. What lessons have you learned, especially as it relates to running a tech startup?
Wow. So I have learned so many lessons over the years. I think the ones that have stood out for me over the years, it's that one of the main ones is that never try to do everything by yourself. So it's always very important to seek help and to seek help from persons who are better at the thing that you're trying to do. Seek help from persons who are considered experts in the field, and then when seeking help, if it is in the form of building a team, ensure that you don't just have the team members as statistics written on a paper, their names written down, but ensure that they're involved. So if you are the entrepreneur, as the entrepreneur, I've definitely learned how to delegate more, how I have become a better leader also because of learning how to delegate more and how to work with my team so that we're all working together to achieve the goals of the organization. Another lesson that I've learned, and this can be tied to the first lesson, it's a very big one for me, is to also let go of control. I think as a founder,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that, I mean, I encountered, and I know other founders have encountered it, where because it's our baby, we
Mm-hmm.
want to ensure that things are done the way we want it to be done. And if we're not careful, we also want to do everything. But over the years, definitely over the past 12 years, I've actually learned to relinquish control. Once team members have been trained and mentored, then, and then they are competent to carry out the task, then I try to ensure that, they're left to do the task. Of course, you provide support and guidance, but I'm not micromanaging, but allowing persons to take charge. And then also becoming more open to suggestions and ideas and listening to others. So my ideas are not always the greatest ideas, and it's not just my ideas that will help the company or the organizations to advance. I may have other team members who are visionaries and have ideas that can really take us to another level. So I've learned a lot over the years to relinquish control and definitely to let go more and incorporate ideas and so forth of other persons more. Yes. I'm thinking, I think I want to share one other lesson.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
um,
I mean, I was just taking in some of your lessons because I know I'm guilty of a few of them. You know, I know better. But as you say, it's difficult. You have to really, even the part about letting go, you have to really
yes.
trust the team that you have.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Yes. So another lesson. Yeah, I have one more lesson.
No problem.
So the third lesson that I would like to share that I've learned over the years is also to become a little bit more proactive and assertive, and to procrastinate less.
Yes.
And that's very important because sometimes what I've learned is, as a doer, I consider myself a doer and somebody who is action oriented. But I've seen on my journey where, yes, I get to a peak and then kind of plateaued. And then
Mhm.
I really have had to speak to myself. Sometimes I've had to speak to others, whether it's friends or mentors, to really help me to move past that plateau and to continue to strive or to go higher. And what happens during that period where I feel stagnant, sometimes I would have experienced where there are things that I need to do, important things that I need to do, and I would procrastinate. I would leave it for tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes a week later. And so it's always important to to seek advice, to talk to persons, and also not to just dwell on the past successes, but to always look at the bigger picture, at the vision that I have for my life and for the organization. And even if I have to take a break, I've learned to accept that period, accept the break, but push, and it requires push. I've had to really push hard to break that procrastination and to become proactive again and go forward. So I think that's another big lesson that I would have learned.
That is true because there are times when we get comfortable, and the mission is not over. As you're right, we sometimes have to take a step back, take a break, and refocus. So I think that's a great lesson as well, not to get too comfortable with our success. And then with time, things change so quickly these days. Your success today will be somebody else's success tomorrow.
Yeah.
And in this social media crazed age, you constantly have to be relevant, especially with a business.
Yes, yes.
So my final question, you've been doing so well in answering the questions. I want you to share with us how do you plan to grow, link your purpose? But what's your vision for the future?
So My vision for Link Your Purpose is that we'll actually become the premier online career development platform for the region of the Caribbean. That is the vision for the organization. That is also my personal vision. We want to get to the place where an online platform, and we want to get to the place where students can literally go online, access all the services, even without our interaction or our assistance as a team, because it is an online platform. So that is what we want to do, to create, to ensure that our systems are in place, they're working well, and they're serving our target market, our beneficiaries, our customers, in a way that they are benefiting from it, far more than they can ever imagine. We also want to ensure that while we expand, we're also maintaining the standard and the quality of the organization. So we want to scale, yes, across Jamaica, we want to scale across the Caribbean, and basically we're open to scaling wherever our services are needed. One of the things with the industry that we are in, it is that career development services is needed globally.
Mhm.
The lack of career advice and development services is not limited to Jamaica, it's not limited to the Caribbean. I've met persons in what we call developed countries who are pursuing masters and even doctorates who are still unsure of what
Yeah.
they're going to do with it. And so for us, we want to ensure that when we scale the programs, no matter where we go, it is helping the persons despite their location. So basically, that's where we see ourselves scaling and creating more impact, but also doing so in a very sustainable way.
I like that. I like that vision of long term, supporting long term learning objectives. Because
Yeah.
right now you're focusing on students, but I can see where a lot of adults, we
Yes.
definitely are struggling to figure out, what we're going to do. And even sometimes, because when I transitioned from teaching into entrepreneurship, before I decided to become an entrepreneur, I wanted to probably go into the field of education, consultant, and I wasn't really sure what that was. So that process for me of figuring out what I wanted to do next was a difficult one because there wasn't a roadmap, there wasn't any resources. I had to do my own research, and I find that your solution can help many persons who are switching careers, changing careers, navigate that process. So I look forward to even greater things
Thank
from
you.
our company. And I am proud of you and your accomplishments and your achievements. You have been very steady. And, there's a saying that the race is not for the swift, but for those who endure. And the long term race has its benefits. And I think you're a prime example of that endurance, going through sticking to your goals, being steady, taking advantage of the different opportunities. Because that grant that you got for 100,000 US dollars, that's huge,
Yes,
and I
it
can just imagine how that would have given you a lot of what's the word? A lot of support to implement a lot of the activities that you want to implement,
is.
And
Yes.
so I believe that you are destined for great things and that you definitely have a vision that is needed. There's a great need, and I see where you can have tremendous impact. Neurotech is here to support you. You have our support. Even though we're not interacting so often,
Yeah.
we definitely support you the from out there, wherever that is. You have supporters, Lanisia, and we're rooting for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Lanisia, thank you for being with us today. Deciding on your career in today's dynamic can be very difficult, especially as a young person. The value of Link Your Purpose is that it is using a highly accessible medium of the internet to help young people make a decision that will chart the course of their future lives. Anyone can access the platform by visiting www.linkyourpurpose.com. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to share this video with a friend and be the first to see our new content by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Here at Neurotech, we develop and maintain custom software solutions for businesses and corporate organizations. So if you have an idea for an online platform or mobile app, complete the form in the description below and we will contact you to discuss further. I'm Nicole Crawford Thompson. Take care.